Yet. Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I hereby call the Election and Campaign Finance Subcommittee to order. Clerk, would you please open the roll? Please take your, if you hadn't already, please vote present or vote absent if you're not here. Please take the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's see, do any members have any personal orders before we begin? Seeing none. Today we have 11 bills on our calendar. And let me, first up is HB 2185 by Leader Lamberth. We have a motion. We have a second on the bill. Please tell us about your, no amendments, correct? Okay, tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, I will give a very brief summary of this. The fiscal note probably summarizes this better than I could. This comes from the Secretary of State's office. It authorizes the electronic portal, which each county administrator of elections will use to access information to verify applications to register to vote, to access data from the Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements, which is the SAVE program of the United States Department of Homeland Security, and it makes such data available via a secure web service. If that service is available at some juncture, this follows up on the bill we passed last year, saying that our local election administrators and the Secretary of State can check that system so that there's no gray areas. We want every single legal voter to be able to vote, but we do not want anyone who is potentially an illegal immigrant or not eligible to vote to vote. So this just makes it, if that program is available at the federal level, we can utilize it.
And it did Chairman Moon?
Question on the bill.
Okay. Any objection? Seeing no objection, we'll be taking a vote on HB 2185. Please open the board for voting. Please cast your vote. Please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes and 1 no.
All right, that bill passes on to state and local full.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee. I hope they're half as kind to me as y'all have been. Thank you.
Next up is HB 2050 by Leader Camper. That has been taken off notice. Item number 3 is a House Joint Resolution 0808 by Chairman Farmer. And you are at the podium. There are first and second. Have a motion second. No amendments.
No, it should be.
Please tell us about your bill.
Very good. Members, Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to be here today. This House Joint Resolution 808 is a constitutional amendment that reaffirms that only United States citizens may vote in all Tennessee elections. Currently, there's no issue with our Constitution right now in regards to this, but this just makes it clear that if one day down the road, folks decide that they're going to try to do what they want to do and circumvent state law, we have our Constitution in place. We have those safeguards there, and the guardrails are on. So that's what this does.
Any questions? Seeing none. Oh, by the way, I did check. I've asked legal to make sure there's another bill that's coming up that yours does not interfere with. Representative Renault's is about residency, and yours is about the right to vote.
It is
citizenship, so it doesn't interfere with each other.
Thank you.
Seeing no questions, we'll be taking a vote on HJR 0808. Please open the board for voting. Please take your vote, members. Take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes and 1 no.
Your bill moves on to state and local full. Next up is item number 4, HB 1497 by Chairman Sapicki. He is, I know he's presenting another bill, so we may come back to this at the chairman's discretion when he arrives. We'll move on to item number 5, which is Representative Renault's bill, HB 0851. And we are operating where we left off 2 weeks ago, I believe. We are operating off of your amended bill. So we got the amended bill. Please tell us, and you Oh, did I hear a motion and a second on today? Have a motion and a second? Please tell us about your amended bill, plus I believe you have an amendment for today.
Correct. Can we just add the new amendment because it rewrites the bill?
Yes,
That draft is 013917.
that's what we have. We have a motion second on the amendment. Any objections? All those in favor of adding it, say aye. Opposed, nay. It is attached to the bill.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee. As amended, this bill now simply deletes subsection G, which was previously I was trying to amend. It makes the change effective January 1, 2017. Currently, subsection G says a United States citizen who was born abroad and who has never lived in the United States may register temporarily and vote in the county where a parent would be eligible to vote. That means that someone who's never lived in Tennessee or even lived in the United States may vote in Tennessee elections. The Tennessee Constitution requires residency to vote. Deleting subsection G brings this section back in line with the constitutional standard. This bill does not affect military voters. Subsection A is still intact. That allows those service members who established Tennessee residency to maintain that while they're stationed abroad. And the same is true for missionaries, aid workers, or anyone else that temporarily lives overseas but intends to return here. This is not about restricting voter rights. It's about ensuring that Tennessee elections are decided by Tennessee residents, which is will be consistent with our Constitution if we pass this legislation. With that, I'll stand ready for any questions.
And I thank you. Thank you for amending the bill. There was a question about soldiers and all that. I appreciate you working with everyone on that. Any questions on the bill as amended? Yep. Seeing none, we ready to vote? We are voting on the amended bill, HB 051. Please open the board for voting. Members, cast your vote. I know. Please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes, 0 noes, and 1 present not voting.
Your bill goes on to state and local 4. And that brings us back to the previous item. Chairman Subcommittee, HB 1497. I believe you have an amendment.
Yes, I do.
Which one are you putting on?
Looks like it's,
Oh, I need a motion and second.
Oh,
I'm putting
sorry.
the amendment on.
Sorry.
That's my fault. On the bill, excuse me. Have a motion and second? Have a motion and second? And now we have the, which amendment are you putting on there?
looks like 013862. I believe that's correct.
Okay, that's what we have. We have our motion and a second on the amendment. Motion second on the amendment. You want to put that on the bill?
Please.
All
sir.
right, we'll be voting to put that on the bill. All those in favor of putting it, say aye. Opposed, nay. The amendment goes on the bill. Tell us about your amended bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. What this bill does, House Bill 1497, it requires legislative body of each municipality to change the date of municipal elections to coincide with the August primary or November general elections. It makes municipal elections partisan and standardizes the election timetable for referendums for the incorporation of a new municipality. On the amendment that you just added on there, there's a section there on page 3 that just talks about if we have a municipal entity that resides in 2 counties or more, it talks about how, whether they're going to have a primary or a caucus, that would be decided by the state governing body of those political parties. That was only what the amendment does. That's all it did. That's what the bill does, Mr. Chairman. I'll be happy to answer questions for you.
Mr. Powell?
Thank you for the explanation. Sponsor, some questions. So the municipal government I represent, we have usually our elections take place in off years. It's not partisan by nature. You're telling me, so this bill would completely change the system that we've set up via our charter. Is that correct?
Yes, go ahead.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. I guess I don't understand the purpose of, and actually, I think it's been very beneficial to the city of Nashville to have elections where they're nonpartisan. They take place in off-year elections from like the national elections because people can play more focus to those elections and those candidates that are running. And so I just am confused as to why would we want to tell local governments they can't have elections, they want to have them.
Go
So
ahead.
could you address that?
Go ahead.
Yes, so this bill its main thing is making sure that the people of Tennessee know when exactly they vote. There are some municipalities that have elections in the springtime, and their voter turnout is abysmal because most people don't know they're having elections. By moving everything to the primary in August or the general in November, it guarantees one thing, that the maximum number of eyes are going to be seen in these elections on these elected officials. We're going to drive as many people as we possibly can to these primaries and these general elections, making sure that we don't have a small group of people picking the directions of these local municipalities. And so you ask yourself, well, why is that important? What's it matter if 1,500 people show up to elect a mayor of Spring Hill, Tennessee, that has probably 30,000 registered voters, but they have the election in March that nobody even knows to show up for? How are we getting true representation in our municipalities that can set tax rates and tax increases that the government that you just talked about has increased taxes dramatically in Metro Nashville over the years? Or set policies and procedures on building and zoning that can affect landowners or businesses? Partisan elections give the voter the opportunity to understand who someone is and possibly never meet them. An opportunity for someone to elect a city mayor or an alderman that maybe never had the chance to even meet them, but because of a party affiliation, they can identify, hey, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, or I'm an independent. If I vote for the sergeant at arms and he's as a Republican and I really don't know him, I have a level of expectation of job performance. It's a voter transparency bill, ladies and gentlemen, of bringing more eyes on the local levels to make sure that we're getting the best decisions for our local constituents. Mr. Chairman.
Any follow-up?
Yeah, I do. So I'd just like to say that I've never met a pothole that is a Republican or a Democrat. I've never met a downed power line that a lot of my constituents dealt with just recently that was a Republican or a Democrat. I've never dealt with water and sewer issues that was a Republican or a Democrat. So, and I don't think either the Republican platform or the Democratic platform addresses those kinds of issues. I think we have city elections whenever people want to have them, and we should let locals decide that. It's in their best interest for the locals to decide this, not have us dictate that to them. So what I fear is, as we continue to try to move all of these elections into one grand election, you're actually having a chilling effect because it's making it harder for people down ballot to get their message out. Because right now there's a lot of money spent on these state and federal elections where they're highly, highly expensive for other people to get their message out. I'm proud of the fact that I've never once gone and looked up anybody that's ever ran for the mayor of my city, their party registration. What I care about is their platform to do well and do better for my city. And then we can hold them accountable. I mean, I actually all the time encounter people who agree on issues and come together in these municipal elections, Republicans and Democrats, to support the issues that my city, and I know other cities around the state of Tennessee, care about. And so I think it's a completely separate issue. And like I said, I've never met a Republican or a Democratic pothole. And I think that we need to keep city elections completely separate. And you know what? If they want to do a city, or I would say to Spring Hill, if you want to do it, what's stopping them from doing it? They can do it. But we should let locals make these decisions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Birkin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And for the chairman, question, I want to be sure, the August, November is an either or, right? The municipal body could choose either one, no preference.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, that is correct. They could choose either one.
Okay, so fiscally, that makes sense. We'll save the money for that odd municipal election. So anyway, that's a good part of the bill. The partisan part, and again, I'm just, from the polling I've gotten from my district, certainly it's been negative. And again, for lots of reasons. I mean, this municipal partisanship or lack of it's been around for a long, long time. I'm not sure how long, probably. But, and so I'm not sure if it's that broken that needs to be fixed. So probably for that reason, if you could break the bill up and have the election part, I could support it. The other part, probably not. So just FYI.
Go ahead.
Well, there's two answers there. First is, I bet your locals don't want to have to determine who they are. We have someone running for Congress right now out of Murray County in Congressional District 5 that's running as a Democrat. And my constituents back home a year ago would have swore he was a Republican. Because nobody knew. Who knew? And I bet at the local level that those people who are running right now in a state that is leaning heavily red, as we can all attest to because we're sitting here, I would argue that, yeah, they don't want to have to step up to the microphone and determine to their constituents what they represent and who they are. If somebody runs as an independent, how do you hold them responsible for anything? The term independent means you can do whatever you want. If you run as a Republican, there's a platform with a set of expectations of performance. If you run as a Democrat, there's an expectation of performance. And if you run as an independent, you're telling everybody, I'm going to do what I think is best, period. The second part of your question is, I believe the term is called divide to question. That's up to this committee if they want to do it.
Just one follow-up. Again, in my county, and we have a pretty good active Republican Party. We have a pretty active Democratic Party. On local elections, they get the word out on who they're supporting in municipal elections through emails, meetings, and such. So we're informed. So
Go ahead.
The bulk of the people, if you look at the number of people that are in the Republican Party who show up on meetings, in Murray County, you're looking at roughly probably on a good month, maybe 500 people. 500 people out of 37,000 registered voters in Murray County. How do you touch them? And they may just get a flyer in the mail and it says, hey, we support these people, but are they running as a Republican? No, they're not. I believe in this. I believe in transparency at the local level for our voters. I believe that the people want to know that I go to vote either in August or November, and I have a good idea of who's running in those elections based off of who they choose to identify themselves as. It's just, that's what I believe.
Well, Representative, I support your bill. I remember back when I was on the state executive committee before I was state rep that when the state party started demanding that counties start calling primaries for county commissions and county mayor and judges. Oh, it's a tragedy. No one to get elected. Now look, especially in West Tennessee, it was so Democrat dominated. Look, Trump won something like 87% of West Tennessee. Virtually everybody runs as a Republican now because it reflects the voters' conservative views. When you run nonpartisan, especially in a city election, when most of the things are not partisan issues or budget items and other things about park allocations, you don't know who's who. You base your decisions off of the candidate mail, and the candidate mail can be deceptive. So at least if someone's choosing a party, it's not always going to guarantee that they're conservative or moderate or liberal in one party. But you're going to know that at least they've chosen a party that's more conservative on most issues. So you got a good guidance to start with. So I actually support it. Plus, it's the only thing that's not partisan. Right. School boards, county commissions, judges, everything else is partisan except this. So I think this is the last step to. It's kind of like it's almost like a cleanup. Plus, everything runs on August and November now, except for cities. So we might as well make it uniform. It's going to cut costs. It's going to bring more people out. And we keep hearing about, well, we have lower voter participation. Well, this is going to increase voter participation on local elections because they're going to be voting. It's going to force people that normally vote on hot topic issues at the state, federal level to pay attention to their cities too. So I support your bill.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I thank you for running it.
Thank you, Mr.
I believe there's Chairman Howe, you're next.
Thank you, Chairman. And to the sponsor, I don't disagree with your concept at all. I just have one legal hesitation. And I've got some cities in my district that they exist by charter, and the way they decide their elections is by charter. And so I'm curious of whether or not this can override what's in their charter, which exists in another part of the state code. That's a legal problem for me. I just don't know.
Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
I'll be happy to answer that question. We may have to go out of legal for clarification on that, but I believe in the bill, except for those municipalities in their charter that says they're nonpartisan,
We need to go out.
probably.
Any objection to go out of session? That's legal. We are out of session.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Josh Houston, Legal Services. Chairman, how was your question about the partisanship or the timing of the elections? Or is it?
No.
about both?
I agree with the timing of the elections. I was just wondering if this bill would override the charters. I'm not sure that would that stand a court challenge?
And the chairman, I believe, said that this is already in the bill, that if charters, it would let them decide or
No,
what?
this-
I'm not misunderstood what you said.
What the bill says is notwithstanding a charter provision to the contrary, municipal elections are partisan. And so regardless of what the charter says, it would require them to have partisan elections. And as far as overriding what a charter says, the cities and counties only have the authority of the General Assembly grants them. So if they can grant them this authority in a private act, they can also override that by a general law that applies to everyone. So that's what this.
Let me ask you two things. I think what the bill says is it requires the parties to call a primary, not for the city to hold them, but to accept the party's letter. And then also, if that's in their charter now, I would assume to come in compliance with the state law, they'd have to amend their charter.
What the bill is talking about in this particular part is that the elections are partisan. It doesn't necessarily say that you have to have a primary. Now, we passed a bill last year that required primaries in all elections except for a few exceptions. And so, but because of those two laws working together, you would be required to have primaries in cities.
Go
Thank you,
ahead.
Mr. Chairman. Pardon me. So to clarify, I think I'm hearing two different things. You're saying if they have a charter, the charter would have precedence over this bill, or just the opposite?
Just the opposite.
Okay.
The bill would override any charter provisions.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification, Chair.
Representative Powell.
Sure.
Legal.
Of legal. So in my county, we have runoff elections for, like, you might have multiple candidates, and it would go to, say, a runoff election. At that point, I mean, you could have independents and others running. If nobody got would you not have any more a runoff election that would then have to have a follow-up election?
My understanding is that in majority of cases, runoff elections are in places where you have nonpartisan elections, because you would no longer have a nonpartisan election. I'm not sure that you would have, you may have to, I'll be honest, but I don't know exactly the answer to that question, but that is I'm not sure what would happen as far as runoffs that was in the charter already.
I'm guessing too, but I'm assuming that the party controls the primaries. So that's their decision on the primary, if they call it, but the runoff would still apply to the general election between the Democrat, Republican, or Independent. I'm assuming. Don't know for sure, but I would assume that's the way it would be.
Well,
But it wouldn't apply to primaries because that's up to the parties to run.
currently there's a 6-week turnaround when you have a runoff, so it's quickly. So you don't want to have a government that is sitting with members that aren't being elected and they've got important business to do. So I think I think the opposite is true. I think you could still have runoffs and it could create major problems for our cities.
Representative Bricken, did you want to, okay. Oh, we're back in session. Any other questions to the sponsor? Oh, I don't know about this. This could be dangerous. Vice Chairman Wright.
This will be dangerous because as I came in the room, I had two country boy stories. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does it come with an R or does it come with a D? Which comes first? But then to develop that a little bit further, as you've described it, this R or D gives me a little bit of understanding before I meet the person about what might be taking place. So then I can use my second country boy story. Birds of a feather flock together. But as this conversation has got way more than knee deep, it's got about waist deep, I've come to the understanding that the third thing that I came in the door with, which was emphasized here by whether it's a Republican chug hole or a Democrat chug hole, when we're having elections, and I'm a rural person, I do not have any rural cities though, but if you go down to cities that just have 500 or 600 people, I think we've even talked about in state and local government, cities that might just have 130 people in a city. And we're going to make them have primaries and call themselves Republicans or Democrats, when really it's just these two cousins. One of them wants to be, the other one has been, and somebody's got to choose who's going to be the person that decides whether we go fix a pothole or not on these little cities, small head count. We can have partisan races in whatever we want to say here next door. But now I've come up with a big question on small cities. And now I've come up with people at the other end saying we needed a divided question. And then I don't want to speak ill of legal because he's like I am. He's a guy that knows so much. He knows a lot more than I know. But maybe one of these questions, the answer a moment ago was, well, it could go this way or that way. I'm undecided now. I believe it comes from the fact that colleague that spoke first, and I'll name him Rep Bricken and I came here 8 years ago. We know very little more today than we knew then, but and so he's not even going to pay attention to me, give him a compliment. Could we talk about this for a week?
You want to roll it for a week?
If yes, and I would ask if there's a specific question that the committee has to get me that question. And
Yes.
I'll try to get those answers. Let me leave you with this before I roll it for a week. In Spring Hill, a year ago in the March 1st of April, they had election for mayor. On the Williamson County and Murray County side together, there's roughly probably about 62,000 registered voters. He won with 3,400 votes. Oh, I'm sorry. Total votes cast. He won with 1,700 votes in a city the size of Spring Hill. Now, I hear what you said about small town, right? Where do their rights stop of getting to know who's who? Right? Our job is to make sure that we pass bills across the state of Tennessee that apply to 7 million Tennesseans. Whether you're in Nashville or you're in Grundy County, it doesn't matter. Everything applies equally in transparency. With that being said, if anybody has any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to roll the bill for a week.
I will do that. We'll roll it for a week, and I will take up any questions that I hear and get back to you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Next, before we proceed on, I want to take a moment. We are deeply honored and appreciative that we have two celebrities in our audience today. No, it's not you, Representative Barrett. You're a celebrity for all the wrong reasons. We have Bill Young and Lance Frizzell with us. That is the chairman of the Finance and Ethics and his attorney, and I believe you're assistant director. So I want to thank you for being here. We'll be on our P's and Q's. No donations till after session. So next up, let's see. Next up is item number 6, HB 2214 by Representative Powell.
Motion and a second.
I'm gonna, based on we had the discussion, I've also got some other parties that want to bring me an amendment, and then I'm going to get with Deputy Speaker Zachary, talk about his bill. I do think
Your
there's
bills are
different.
so close together.
Well, I think there's some key differences, but we'll hash that out, and or if I can, revisit this next week.
Okay, well, I'll roll this week.
Yes, sir.
HB 2214 rolled 1 week. Next up is HB 1921 by Representative Miller. Is he in the House? He is not here. Do I hear a motion to roll to final calendar? We have a motion and a second to roll to final calendar. Any discussion? Yeah, he asked for it. So, not asked for it. He asked us to do that. So we'll be rolling HB 1921 to the final calendar. Next up is HB 0659 by Representative Chisholm. Motion and second on the bill. You have an amendment?
Yes, sir.
Give us that number, please.
That number is
I have 13845.
that sounds about right.
We have a motion, second on the amendment. All those in favor of attaching Amendment 1, 13845 to the bill, say aye. Opposed, nay. Bill is attached. Amendment is attached to the bill. Tell us about your amended bill.
So the amendment, it merely changed the effective date to July 1 of this year. But members, I bring you this bill that authorizes county elections commissions to designate restroom facilities in a building in which the election is being held for the use of workers and volunteers for the campaign. It requires any campaign worker or volunteer to cover or remove clothing or anything bearing campaign material before entering the facilities. And with that, members, I stand by for your consideration.
Well, I like the bill as a worker for 30 years, 10 years before I ever got to be state rep. When you, excuse the language, when you got to go, you got to go. And it varies from county to county. I think most counties, as long as you cover up your campaign material and you don't campaign inside, they let you go to the restroom, but some counties don't. It varies. And I've asked the director, and he had no opposition to it, of elections, and I certainly don't. It's up to the committee. But this bill has been brought before by Representative Camper, but yours is different. And it addresses all the issues that the state had, I believe. So I talk to the individual members if there's any questions on the bill, please. Representative Powell.
Question, would the sponsor accept a friendly amendment to rename this the peeing at the polls bill?
Out of order.
Question on the bill.
We have a question on the bill. Any opposition? Seeing none, we'll be voting on the bill. Please open for voting. Please cast your vote. Please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
Your bill passes out to state and local full.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Next up is item number 9, HB 1506 by Representative Hicks. And we have a second. We have a first and a second on the bill. Do you have any amendments on the bill?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
All right, tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, only employees of the Attorney General's office may conduct a training session for new board members of the Ethics Commission or the Registry of Election Finance. This bill would allow the executive director or the general counsel of the Bureau of Ethics and Campaign Finance to conduct training for a new board member. The reason for the bill is that new board members may not vote in a meeting until they receive training. This bill ensures that a new board member will not have to miss a meeting due to scheduling conflicts with the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General office has a lot of work to do, so it would be nice to have the executive director and the general counsel to do this training. This is a simple bill, and I ask for your consideration on this bill.
Question on the bill. Seeing no opposition, we'll be voting on the bill. Please open the board. All those cast your vote. Please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
Your bill is passed by a squeaker. It passes out to full state and local.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Next up is item number 10, HB 0999 by Representative Barrett. He was here, but he has given us instructions to roll 1 week. Any opposition to that? Seeing none, it rolls to 1 week. Item number 11, HB 2304 by Representative Barrett. He has also asked for this to be rolled 1 week. I believe he's working on fiscal notes. Any objection? Seeing none, we'll roll that bill for 1 week. And these are the saddest words that I know Rush Bricken hates me to say, but we are about to close the committee for this week. House Elections Campaign Finance Committee will hear its final calendar on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. I believe the 11th is the last day to file. And bills on final notice will be Wednesday, March 11th at 3:30 p.m. That concludes our business for the day. If they hear a motion to adjourn, we will adjourn. So we have a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.